Someone get this demon cow. Did your 3-year-old cousin come over recently? I don't know how they reached that though. That's a little high.
Marker is on Tarak's hand. It's very insulting that you would blame me without proof.
I didn't. I said, did your 3-year-old cousin do it?
No, I knew what you were instigating. I forgot the English word, I can't pronounce it. Instigating? I look like a homeless beggar, so it would be very nice if you were to help me.
What do you think is gonna happen if you just like consume a bunch of sugar and candy every day?
That's okay. I mean, I still wouldn't want to be recorded.
If you're skinny and good looking? You're done eating almonds. Earlier you said we just couldn't record because you're eating almonds. And if you don't want to be recorded, it's gonna be very difficult. Given the fact that we record. So the thought that I had is one thing that I can do is make the goal really fucking big. That might be more attractive. The question is, you know, honestly, we can just do 2 different accounts. One that points to this goal and one that points to some
bigger.
Yeah, and we'll just see which one gains more traction. And if people learn about this as the first goal,
they're definitely gonna know.
this will be the goal we work on, but everything's of course just an evolution towards a bigger stage. The thing about all the influencers in the world right now is that no one has a this, and even their this is more always so, well no. So the biggest stories that people have really tried telling is like Iraq, I'm gonna get to 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. You know, they set a destination and they film how they get there. If you're smart enough, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get attention, which gives you money, which gives you, then there's people who wanna help, and you just learn. There's reinforcement. The universe helps guide that path to a degree. But then now, his goal is a pizza party. We're gonna throw the world's biggest pizza party. I think he backtracked. Now you have 1 million followers. Why are you setting smaller goals, bro? You know, and why are you not using your influence to fucking change the world for good? So that's kind of the unique thing that I've taken a lot of time to do, is think about what are the massive goals that can be done that will change the world, 1, for the better, and 2, where can we take it in order to make massive unlocks for the entire world? Where is all the problems of the world coming from? Why, when we have more than enough money, is so much of it funneling and being printed back into people's pockets, and even these stimulus bills? Why, when we have like 800 billion in spending on the American defense budget, when we don't want to kill anybody, what are we doing? 800 fucking billion dollars. There's a graph, I have it downloaded on my phone, which shows the relative spending on anti-terrorism versus deaths versus like the rest of it. Why are we not spending money trying to figure out how to make people the happiest and the most flourishing they can be? Why are we not trying to figure out how to help the world live the most vital future, you know? Why are we not going after the mental health crisis that plagues us all because we've built platforms that extract from us rather than empower us? So all these questions is people's questions that are in the back of their mind. These are what I like to call invisible atrocities. It's all these things when we know, and when they're brought up, you go, yeah, that's a problem. And for some reason, we've all basically said, yeah, that's a problem. That's the system. That's the way it works. But the cool thing is that we do all want these invisible, just murderous things to die. We don't want them in our society. And it would be great if these influencers, who have all the capability to tell great stories, told stories about how we can start tackling those problems. You know, to rally people and empower people. And it doesn't exist. So while I somewhat would prefer to just fall in love with a woman and, you know, travel the world together and just like sail boats and go on the beach and sip Mai Tais and like have long walks and just listen to good music, maybe learn to play the guitar, that'd be nice. Just get a bunch of cool friends together, drink beers by the bonfire. I realize that there's a gaping fucking hole in the world and need for some fucking star power. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. That sounds fun too. It sounds a lot more fun when I do add it up, because really one of the invisible things that we're not thinking about is, you know, here's another fucking graph. Average life expectancy 100 years ago was 40 years old. Now, 82. 2002, we figured out what the fuck's this DNA that creates this is even written. That's when we first sequenced the first human genome. Now, what originally took tens of millions of dollars, as well as, I think it was years, I think it might have been decades, and people worked on it for a long time. It now takes like an hour and $100 to do a full human genome. The fact of the matter is, the same revolution that happened with these phones, where computers for our parents were the fucking size of this building and not as powerful as what you're holding this or watching this on. Well, That's happening in the genetic space. So start thinking about it. If you're young like me, you're gonna have the option to live a very fucking long time. One of the invisible things that we don't think about is like, where the fuck is this all going, Or even the why are we here question. That seems to still be collectively not answered, But I think to a degree, a lot of the answers to the questions work for now. Why are we here? To answer that question. What's the meaning of life? To find that meaning. But is the meaning to doom scroll on Twitter or TikTok all day? Getting farmed by an algorithm inside of your phone that just understands exactly what it needs to feed you to keep you on the platform more? Is hanging out with that thing which seeks to make you nulled and turn you into data really the thing you should be hanging out with all day? Yeah, didn't think so, bucko. Didn't think so. That's a fucking Max Karen. It's like Satan vibes straight up. Like, if it is successful to the highest degree, if its goal succeeds, you do fucking nothing but wake up, open your phone, scroll, jerk off, scroll, eat food in bed, scroll. Its goal is to maximize the amount of suffering, engagement, time that you are glued to your screen. So is that gonna feed you the best content, right? Is that the restaurant you wanna be eating at for your brain? It's all food. It's all shaping us. And that's why we're building Socialverse, the platform that feeds you the food that makes you great.
There's the plan.
But that's just one fucking flag. And the fact of the matter is, I have big fucking dreams. And a lot of people do. And I talk with a lot of these people. Because I like to understand what are these things collectively we can agree on that if it was fixed, we're all like, hell yeah, that works. And then, I think the biggest fucking thing we need is what if out of all these influencers getting massively rich, telling massive stories, having millions of people basically worship them, what if they were trying to make us flourish? What if we all were looking at ways to solve these big problems? And what if when we paid our attention, we were paying it to someone who has the world's best interest in mind? Elon Musk fills one hole. He does things. He does good things. He's not making YouTube videos. Can't really watch that. He's not an entertainer. So I think the mix of the jester and a little bit of the Musk vibes. Now, I don't want that to be detrimental to the people who fucking hate Musk. Like some people are, oh, evil. I'm just using him as a placeholder of a guy who is thinking about a lot of big problems. Now, the thing is, a lot of people feel unheard by Elon, like he's just on his own path. And that is how a YouTuber is on the totally opposite path. As a YouTuber, you are, to a degree, your audience's bitch. What does your fan base want? You're dictated by them. They are your capital. It's the social capital. You are predicated on kind of what they want. And so when it comes to Elon being able to strike his own path and potentially build a new world order, to the Met Gala, look up Met Gala Elon Musk 2018. Read what's on the back of his white jacket. He's wearing a white jacket, and it says Novus Ordo Securum, stands for New World Order. So, yeah, maybe the fact that he is quite private about his dealings means he doesn't have the best end goal in mind. Maybe the fact that he hasn't published his true inner philosophy and where he really wants to go with everything is bad. Maybe that's part of a necessary piece, is to have a coherent philosophy. And maybe if a leader has a coherent philosophy that is good for the world, that would be more effective than even what the leader does. To that degree, I'm saying the fact that Musk has this massive foothold on the world, and a ton of people are looking at what he's doing, the fact that he's not helping to educate and say, hey, everyone in the world, here's what you should be doing. Instead, he's controlling, it's I'm following him, and he's not saying, hey, here's how you all can be empowered and here's where we should go with the world. It's I am the savior, that's more of the type of vibe. Just to the degree that if you do a bunch of things like, how does buying Twitter help him get to Mars? So that's obviously not his end goal. It might be one of the goals along the way on the tree of goals. But we should start to understand people's end tier goals if we want to understand where we want the future to go, because these people are gaining power. He has a Neuralink company, which has the capability to read and write information inside of your brain. And we should think about whether these things are things we want for the world in which we raise our next generation. That's something that I can't fucking deny I really want to do. So as I described earlier, the other life path involves finding a wife, settling down, having a beautiful family, as humans have done this entire fucking time. All our history, everything, all the love that's ever happened has happened. Families coming together, people falling in love, and then children being raised. That is, in fact, being threatened. Like, what if we just hooked up a neural link to one of our babies and had it download everything it needs to know? Now we don't need to raise it. Now we just have a genius fucking baby. I don't have the answers to these sort of questions about the future. But I do know the fact that when we're watching Jake Paul or, Nelk Boys and all the people who have influence, these questions aren't even being questioned. And if you're someone who is sick or has a wound that is infected and you don't treat it, that's very bad. And so I think of the fact that we, as an organism, have these infections that we're just looking away from as the only real risk. In fact, I don't think there's necessarily a great risk. To some degree, I believe things will turn out just fine. But I also know the fact that me today can change people today, whether they suffer, whether they get help, whether their communities have people in it who are being raised fucking depressed from using the phone all day, sitting in their bed, scrolling on TikTok. Whether that helps their local community or whether the local community dies and suffers. People start spending more time staring at the screen. I believe the good future is going to happen. And I believe that my actions will just help it happen faster. And so, somewhat, I feel a moral obligation to become X-influencer. And I see this warehouse plan and the TikTok stuff, day 1 of, day 2 of, day 3 of, as the means for the story to progress. No distractions would be fun. And the story's fun enough when you're living every day with purpose and meaning. When you're at war just against the demons of the world, it's kind of fun.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah. Yo, maybe that should just fucking be my YouTube channel. Like, Demon Slayer just goes so hard. TikTok demon. Slay! First demon I'm going after. That's fun when I can talk about it as we're fighting demons together. Because I want everyone who's watching my videos to fight their inner demons with me. And one thing that I know, the reason why I'm even setting this shit up is because I know that without putting a fucking story on myself, a live streamed camera, that my demons are gonna get to me. I see the camera literally just as a shield to help me. All of us are in environments where there are things which can either help our willpower or hurt it. And I think, yes, we can all muster up enough willpower to fight these things, but what we really should do is use that willpower to change our environment. Find the places which are conducive, where we don't need to muster up a ton of willpower, where naturally there's harmony. Because we've lost the neighborhood as a society. We've lost that human nature of connection and that local bond. And that's scary. There's lots of projects trying to fix this problem. Where's the influence talking about it? It's all in the academia online. It's these closed circles, projects raising money. But the masses, the attention economy, the influence that we watch, the real teachers of the fucking world are selling you demons. Nelk Boys, liquor company, drink more. Here's our demon, drink it. That makes them rich. Hooray. Perpetuates the cycle. And you get to see some of them, rich as they be, not fucking happy, So are they really gonna be the best people to make you happy? They're finding it through selling gambling shit, liquor. Mr. Beast, biggest fucking person in the world that has ever existed in existence, is currently selling chocolate fucking bars. Imagine the power and strength of that just being better. I'm not saying Beast is a demon. I know his name doesn't give him a great fucking start. But fact of the matter is, that is just an insane amount of leverage and power. And there's a gap, there's a hole in the world for community. Partially, part of this pathway, you will see, is really just me being a jester. I take ideas and I give the ideas in the world, should be looked at, more vision. It's just a taking away from the extraction mechanisms and more so helping other people solve the problem. For social verse, am I really going to be building all the tech, doing all the things. No, that's not how it works. Especially when it comes to like influence. Once people are watching things, stories unfold naturally. There's the right people who come into place to solve the problem. So, to that degree, the reason I talk about it is mainly because there has been a recent person who has blown up that I think represents some ideas of empowerment, Andrew Tate. The sad thing is, he's not been able to build something bigger than himself. It is him to really change the world. You build things bigger than you that expand on their own and become their own thing. You give away the power, the real power of the world right now today. Capability to give a fuck ton of it elsewhere. Because there's so much more opportunity for every single person out there in this world than anyone will ever tell you right now. We can all fucking believe that a little bit. You're on the first step to achieving it. Sure. Any questions, Tarak?
On
Anything you didn't understand? Anything you want me to touch on?
so before this, like a trailer for the whole show, basically. What if we have like small goals
Yep.
that leads to this, and that will, like, if it leads to this,
Yep.
it will skyrocketly reach there, definitely. That's
So
the
I
point,
think
right?
the coolest way to do it is, let's place flags. So the first flag could be day one of living in this room until I get 10,000 followers so I can break down this wall and double the size of my room. You know, that's one small flag. And that's one account. Each actual narrative of flag is its own TikTok account. And each one of those things is building its internal following base. As these different accounts get to more people who find that they're connected, we start to build an even bigger following. That attention funnels to the big grand idea overall. And the grand idea can always move forward as we gain more leverage. Right now, I stopped my dreams from becoming too big because I need to focus more on just getting these other flags. But I have done a lot of thinking and focus on what is the mechanism through which that story has infinite growth potential. It has scale potential. Because the warehouse story specifically, as the main sort of core of it, I think is really cool. I think I can also say, for the rest of my life, or whatever the fuck, I will live in a warehouse. So I can make a giant flag that says day one of living in a warehouse till I donate $1 billion to charity, you know? I can set some crazy fucking flag. All that's gonna happen is once these other flags get tackled, people are gonna go, holy shit, he might fucking do it. And if they believe I might fucking do it, that's all I need to do it, you know? Because I have the dreams that are big enough. Socialverse can be worth $1 billion easily. Are people gonna wake up to the fact that they need a better, healthier social media option? Yes. Does that exist right now? No. Okay. Fucking great. It's exactly what I've been working on, you know? So we have the foundations for greatness. We just gotta take the path, you know? Enter the, I like to call it the divine path. Might as well be spiritual about it, right? Divine vibes. So we can spread the holiest vibes. One of the reasons why I've become a lot more fucking excited recently is because I have located truth, which I finally feel super confident in and feel that it's very important for me to tell the world what it is. For a long time I've been thinking about this question that I would ask, and I'll even ask you if you'd like to answer, if anything comes to mind, which is, if you had one message, you had a paragraph that every single person in the world has to read, what does it say? Go.
Be kind to everyone.
This is good.
If you say a sentence, that would be it. Like, I want people to be.
Right. So, be kind to everyone. Now let's just imagine a scale of information. At the bottom, what people are calling is the worst information as info hazards. So this is the worst possible information to spread to the world. On the other side, we have what I'm calling effective vibes. This has no name. I just named it effective vibes because I like to think of all information as vibes, and all vibe packets that we download. That's why it's important.
So that's like the most effective one.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think of this scale. And then I'll break down why I don't think yours is super high on the scale. Be kind to everyone is more of a output than a filler of push and call to action. When someone says be kind to everyone, how much does it shift someone's internal narrative to say I should be kind to everyone? A little. So, you know, it's better than not saying anything. But the biggest thing that we look at when it comes to these hazards, if I tell someone, you should kill everyone in the world. Well, is it? If I tell you that, how much is that actually a hazard to the world?
I wouldn't do it, but
Exactly, so it's very,
yeah,
it's not really
it's like,
hazardous.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, if a person with major power does it, it changes how much it would go. You know, that's just leverage. But just as a text, as a piece of information, that's just info. It's nothing special. It doesn't tell you any why. It doesn't dive anywhere. But it's hard to sum up an entire why in a sentence that actually is groundbreaking for people. So I've been thinking a lot about like what then is the most effective vibe. What is the thing to tell people that would actually change the fucking world? And my one that I think has become, and I realized it's my internal narrative. I started looking at myself and like, why do I want to do so much good? And so I started searching for truth. And I went down the rabbit hole of my own like altruistic feelings. The fact of the matter is, you don't like what you find at first, but then at the end you do like what you find. That's how rabbit holes sort of are. There's like a whole nother side to it. They're like portals. And going down and I'm like, I'm not really selfless is the first idea that I was scared of. I'm still just doing this and being altruistic because I want to like get good karma. All of it's still helping me. That's nothing I need to be sad about. That's actually beautiful. The fact that the universe is set up in a way or my optimal life can be me trying to do the most amount of good. Wow, what a fucking great way for the universe to be set up. Suck if it wasn't like that. Like, that's awesome. And what that comes out to tell to someone, is good karma is the only scarce resource in the world. And the best way to get the most of it is convincing as many people of that as possible. Because the reason I think it's high, it might not be the most effective thing in the world, you know? You always find better stuff. But rather than just saying be kind to people, it says you live your life trying to be the kindest you can be. Good karma is the scarce resource. We as humans want to accumulate the scarce resources. That has an implication to say that money is not actually a scarce resource. Good karma is the only scarce resource. So that is to say, money's not scarce, food is not scarce. These are things I shouldn't care about, and I should give them up in order to accumulate more of that scarce resource. And then it has the factor of spread. So something's only as effective as it has spreading capability. Think about any one of the big religions they have within it, like spread the gospel, you know?
Tell this to everyone.
If the religion said, keep this to yourself, it's not going to be a very big religion at the end of the day. If you tell one person and they keep it to themselves, well, now you have two people who believe something. So religions at the end of the day are effective vibes. They're just super fucking long, hard to consume. How do you wrap it up in one sentence? So I've been looking for more effective vibes. Religions also use things which have a bit of an info hazard to them, which is like, if you don't believe this, you will burn in eternal hell. And anyone who believes otherwise will burn in eternal hell. So what that does is, you know, when you find someone who believes in a different religion and they're a good person, really believe in the word, you have to think that they're going to die in eternal hell simply because they don't think the exact thing that you do. And that's not a very nice thing to think, after all. Now, it was useful to get societies to fully fucking believe in this. And it's also useful because it makes it majorly effective to say, someone's going to steal. If they're like, I might burn in eternal hell if I steal this, okay, I'm not gonna steal it. Now, if you just been told be kind to everyone, that guy's still gonna steal that shit, you know? There's no negative part. So the realization somewhat for me of the rabbit hole was that we are all still just calculating things, you know? That psychological egoism is real. That's the term that is for it. Which is just the idea that every single thing we do is selfish in some nature. The beauty is that within all of us is the selfish selflessness. So I think perfect selfishness is perfect selflessness. If you want to be the most selfish you can be, you become the best you can be for the entire fucking world. And how much more beautiful could that be? Which is why, to become the best I can be, I will enter the warehouse. Really, Tarak, this is more so we will enter this warehouse. You're down. Down?
Let's do it.
It's a good story, and I think this video will be important one day.
Yes, I was just about to like borrow your marker and just write that this video needs to be edited.
Oh, like put it on your thing.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
What's the title of this video?
Demon Slayer.
Doesn't that sound info hazardous?
It's controversial in nature to some degree. It pings the emotion, but that's good. No one would read Demon Slayer and then be like, now I like demons more. Nice. You should give it I think the channel name could be Demon Slayer. Day 1 of wearing the Demon Slayer shirt until I slay all my demons. And then I could say, here's a list of my demons. And I could put like masturbation, alcohol, you know what I mean? And then I could say, you can watch me on live stream at, and it goes to the live stream account. And so each one could filter over to this live stream account. Yeah. Well, I have live stream 24/7 on TikTok, so it's a pretty good one. But over time, we'll buy more devices and shit like that. If this goes well enough, I probably wouldn't even go home for Christmas, which means we have a month to make it go well enough. Well, less than a month, 2 weeks, or a week. What's today? The 12th? 11th?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a week. Damn.
We can like plan everything.
Right, in that case, there can definitely be a lot
that's
more
the
planning.
planning phase of our big plan.
Sure.
Like we can get everything settled, like technically and everything for it to do it. Like we haven't found the warehouse and that's like it's too soon, of course.
Yeah.
We should like set up everything and like don't care about the requirements and just focus on one goal. Until then, we can start storytelling about it. Like take people on the journey of setting it up.
Sure.
That would be good for someone if someone wanted to set something like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good idea.
And I could actually use this for helping fundraise for social work. So I do think media, like videos, from here on out, I basically want you to... Also, when you finish stuff... Oh, you ordered dog tags?
Yeah.
What did they say on them?
Sorry?
What do they say on them?
It says Agent of Chaos, Jack J. And on the other one it says
You just ordered one or two?
I just ordered one for like to see.
Okay. Sounds good. Cool. Demon Slayer. DIA.
DIA.
Decentralized Intelligence Agency.
Decentralized Demon Slayer.
So there's lots of demons. These demons are decentralizing.
Yes.
There's no one central demon, there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, as we tell the story, the different things that we build, we'll find out where they really exist. We have a lot of firepower, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of things that will be exciting for people to find or that we could put people in charge of too. You know, like someone to run the DIA.
We should like...
Which itself will help build the overall movement, you know? We're building a movement to a degree. Vibe movement. Raise the vibes. We're influencing the vibes of the world.
We are.
All these influencers be straight up existing and literally lowering the vibes. All of our influence right now is not focused on raising the vibes. Like, what of all the influencers that are very massive say, we need to empower people? That's a problem in the world. Can you think of any of the big influencers?
Any of the big influencers?
YouTubers.
Who are like towards more effective vibes?
Yeah.
I can say... Can't even say Joe Rogan.
You could put him higher on the scale, but I don't think you would put as much of a self-awareness to the effect. I think the big portion, which is important, is bringing the self-awareness to people of, we are all a part of humanity right now. Humanity is important. We all are more powerful than we actually know. And we should all do better for ourselves and for our future, you know?
That's it.
Like, that's him talking, he is effective at like talking about aliens and talking about the singularity and talking about the things which help someone reach the point of saying, oh wow, I can do a lot. I can be very effective. And that's important, you know? But it's a lot easier to get someone there by starting there, saying that's important. Here's why, you know?
We have a...
Overall, he doesn't have some goal for people like that.
I'll show you a influencer in this video. I want your thoughts on it. They're called Abhi and New. They talk about the things that like are going on and which is not fair. And at the end of the day, they ask a question like, does this really matter?
Yeah.
And they have a whole video about why does it matter.
Yeah.
He's a really good one. I'll show you his videos later.
Cool.
But they have a lot of researched videos. This looks like art, really.
It's just a brain stash. Let's go see if you guys just try to spread some positivity into his heart.
Yeah, sure.